Hello and welcome to my podcast conversations. There have been many changes hurled upon us during this pandemic. I believe in the resilience and the innovation of the human race, and we have here in these conversations seen evidence of the success of many changes. But not being able to book an appointment at the hairdressers or the beauticians was challenging. With a change in meeting behaviour, which successfully resulted in greater use of online meetings, we were confronted with a situation where we were seeing ourselves, our hair and makeup, for far more than the brief glance we usually manage in a mirror several times a day. So for many of us, I think, the announcement that the hairdressers and beauticians can reopen was received with enthusiasm. And today I'm talking to Christina Dudley from Hair Design and Hannah Goodall from the Beauty Bug, both here in Raunds, and discussing the preparations for a successful launch. Hannah, perhaps you would like to start with a brief overview of the business?
Hiya. I've been in Raunds now for about 13 years, but I've been in the hair and beauty industry for about 18 years, working on Saturdays and things like that. I went to Northampton College, did a diploma in beauty therapy science, and we've got the little shop in Raunds that is just over from the Saxon Hall, in between Ashfield Avenue and the Co-op.
Okay, thank you very much. And Christina, quick overview of your business.
Hiya, I've been hairdressing for about 20 years now. Myself actually attended the Northampton College as well, and worked in various salons in Northampton. And then I decided to go mobile whilst my children were growing up. And then once they've become a bit more independent, decided to open a salon myself in October last year, next door to Cookie's Bakery along the High Street.
Good. And so in terms of the impact then of the COVID on such a new business, what happened there?
So obviously we'd only been open since October. So we were just getting on our feet, building up clientele. I had a member of staff working for me, which she still is now. And then unfortunately with the impact of COVID, we did have to close very promptly. And, it was shut for about 15 weeks, which was a big worry to us. But, obviously now we're reopen, we're in high demand. Everybody needs their haircuts and feeling fresh and nice again.
Indeed. I think it's an important thing to do. And what about the guidelines?
So we kept our eye on the guidelines closely, and sort of Scotland and Wales and England all had different outlooks on the guidelines. So I did follow the National Hairdressing Federation guidelines, which were constantly being updated, which was really good. And they did get changed a few times, but on the main it was pretty much sort of clear cut. We've got the visors which we have to use, so the perspex visors. So we don't actually have to wear the masks, and we've just been told that we do have to wear the visors, and that's no compromise on that. We do the temperature checks with our contactless temperature gun just on people's arrival, just so that there's minimal contact. We get them to sanitize their hands on the way in, but then once you're in here, and you're settled down and everything's pretty much the same, friendly atmosphere. There is certain things that we have had to change as well with the screens. I don't know if you can see them behind me, so we've had to put the perspex screens in, just so that we can get people in and they feel safe, because it's quite a smallish sort of salon. We don't want people to feel like they're too crammed in. Mm-hmm. And we've also got the disposable gowns as well, so that people have their own gown, and that's all thrown away. We put all of our equipment into sanitizer as well, sterilising liquids and stuff, just to keep everything clean. Each station is cleaned down in between every single appointment, including the door handle, the reception desk, the card machine. Everything's completely cleaned down in between every appointment.
Gosh, that's good to hear, and that's really reassuring for a customer before they come, because it's the sort of things that goes through your mind. What do they need to do? The customers, is there anything they need to do that would help?
What we do is we do ask them obviously to sanitise their hands on the way in, and we ask them if they can to wear a mask. However, in the government guidelines, it's not actually compulsory for somebody to wear a mask in a hairdressing salon at the moment. They've made that clear, because we wasn't sure if that would be changed alongside the shops, with the rules of the shops. However, how they've said it is because we are taking so many measures ourselves in the salon with the cleaning, and we've got our visors on and everything's sterilised in between appointments, that it's not actually asked of the client to wear a face mask.
Ah, that makes sense. So you've got a very controlled environment. So that makes that say yes. I think that makes perfect sense. Also, it's very difficult in a hairdresser's to have your hair managed with a mask on, wouldn't it? So that's just an added benefit then. That's very good. Yeah, thank you. What about Hannah? How is it different in the beauty world?
It's not overly different. But the guidelines that we were given to the hairdressers first, and they were actually only updated again on Friday. So it's a constant battle looking at different guidelines. I sort of joined groups on Facebook. As countries shut down, they reopened before us, obviously, and they were given guideline what they'd been given, and we sort of were picking bits out to get us ready. So we do have the visors, we do have the screens, we leave 15 minutes to 20 minutes in between each customer to wipe down where they've sat, where they've touched. We also have to wear masks, and our customers have to wear masks, and it is a government guideline, but our insurance company is making sure that we ask both parties to wear them. So it is hard because people don't like to wear them, but it is something we have to do. We've also developed a consultation form. Unfortunately, it is double-sided. We ask the customer to pick this up prior to their appointment so they can read through the guidelines that we've had to abide by to sign if that's okay. And it also gives us permission with the track and trace system, just in case anything was to happen. But yeah, it's fun.
It's complicated, isn't it? It's very detail driven, and at the end of the day, you're providing a service that requires you to be close to the customer, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely, and I think that's why the masks are so important for both parties. We've looked through a lot of scientific evidence, and I know the government have to look across a lot of industries, and they can't necessarily do it one by one because it takes so much time. So I do feel that our own research has helped us a lot. We did join a group called Coronavirus Business Support and Advice for the hair, beauty and nail industry, run by a lady called Danny Simmons, and that was so informative to get things right to make this salon COVID secure.
So when somebody arrives at the door of the salon, what happens from there? Say they've booked in to have nails done.
So when they come to the door, if we haven't seen them, they'll knock on the door. We'll then ask them to either wash or sanitise their hands, whichever they feel comfortable with. Hand over the form. That goes into a plastic bag for 24 to 48 hours. It's then put in a folder, which is then put in a locked cupboard. The person will sit down and everything's clean before they come in. I'll have my mask on. We've got a screen for nails, so I don't need to wear my visor. They will have their mask on, and we just do the treatment as normal.
Good. So once we've got used to the paraphernalia that we all have to wear, it'll be good. I just wondered how you do a face makeup how would that happen, or is that still not?
So at the minute, up until the 1st of August, we can't touch anything above the neck. So this includes like eyebrows, Indian head massage, all that sort of thing. But from the 1st, we're allowed to do anything. But we have been made to do risk assessments to see what we feel is safe in our salons. So they're encouraging you to say, I'm sorry, we can't do that treatment because we don't feel it's safe. We are bringing the majority of treatments back, but there are one or two that we are deciding not to, and that we are going to customise so that we can do it in a way that is safe for both parties.
So so what can't you do? So if people are thinking, so they can't have eyebrows or anything done on their face at the moment.
No.
They will be able to ask about that after the 1st of August?
Yeah, 1st of August, it's all systems go. We can do all that sort of thing again. The person will have to wear a mask. And we have, I don't know if you've seen the old-fashioned lacquer face guards that you used to get, the handheld ones. We've bought some of those so people could hold them over their face while we go around the eyebrow area.
Ah, I see. So that's how you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Across in hairdressing, it's a little easy. It's because you're standing behind someone. I suppose that and you're obviously doing all the cleaning. I suppose that means that you're a little more in control.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we're obviously behind to the side. One of the things in the government guidelines was minimal contact around the front of somebody's face.
Yeah.
So things like if you need to trim somebody's fringe, obviously just be mindful that you have got to have minimal contact. So, you can't be hanging around the front of somebody's face having a chat whilst doing their fringe. It is, get on with the cut and then remove yourself away from them face to face, and then you can continue the conversation from behind again.
Yeah. So I can see, but you're very well read about this, and you've studied it, and you're making sure that your businesses are reflecting the guidelines and creating security for the customer, and the customer will feel they know what they've got to do as well. So have you got a message for as our last part of a message for the customers? Do you want to start for us, Christina?
Yeah, so obviously there is a few changes that can be quite scary to people before they come in, and it all sounds very sort of worrying. But we just want to reassure people, apart from besides we can't sort of give you a tea or a coffee or a magazine, it is still the same friendly, the same warming atmosphere when you do come in here. Once you're in your chair, and once you're settled in your area, everything continues exactly the same. And I think a lot of people that have been in here have also said they feel absolutely fine and completely relaxed as normal once they're in the chair and they've made that sort of initial step through the door.
Oh, thank you. That's a great message. Hannah?
What Christina said, really. We're still the same people we were before. We've just had to implement decisions that maybe aren't things that we would want to implement, but they are for our own safety and for the customer's safety. Our customers are like our friends and family, and it's been hard not to have that social contact for the last 4 or 5 months, however long it's been. We've seen things over the years and shared different occasions over the years, and we hope to do it for quite a few years after. It is just, we are much more COVID secure than we were before, but I'd like to thank everyone for supporting my business and being what it is today, and to my family and to the girls that have helped me on the Facebook group.
Excellent. That's excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you both. Carefully, cautiously, yet courageously, we plan to take small steps towards rebuilding our lives. The big decisions are out of our hands, whether we can go out, fly on holiday, go to the theatre. But it is in the seemingly small decisions that we as individuals can be in control. They contribute to our sense of well-being and self-esteem. On my list are hair and beauty. How fortunate that we have such well-prepared, careful, professionally led businesses. Christina Dudley Hair Design and The Beauty Bug. Hannah and Christina have been diligent in their pursuit of the correctness and implementation of the government guidelines. They maintain the highest standards of hygiene and an empathy with the customer. The aim is to protect everyone involved in the process. Well done. And it is great to see our Raunds High Street coming to life again. Thank you.